All right, let's sign in to IXL. I have my username here, Faisin at AKEB TZ, and I have entered my password, and we can sign in. So you will see that it brings me straight onto the recommendations page, and we shall go into language arts. It automatically has brought me into my grade, which is second grade, and you will see all of the other grade levels on the left-hand side here. This page has all the topics and the subtopics and skill sets for grade 2 language arts. Now, if I want to look at a specific topic, let's say we want to look at punctuation and capitalization, this will show me all of the skills for punctuation and capitalization in all grades. So for example, if your child has completed all of the skills in grade 2, then you can come here and have a look at perhaps trying the same skill in another grade. We will go back to grades, and if you see, you place your cursor over one of the topics, one of the skills, it will bring up a skill preview pop-up box, and here you will see that it will show you 4 examples of questions that are in this topic. So it gives you an idea of what the questions are. You will also see here that I have achieved a medal, and I have achieved a SMART score of 100. So I have mastered this skill because I have achieved 100. So for the purpose of the competition, I want to just mention that this number here, 100, once you have mastered the skill, that is what counts towards the national awards in the competition. Mastering the skill, completing your topics correctly and quickly. So if you see here, the topic syllables, I have mastered skill 1 and 2. And that is what is important for a national award. Of course, you have to have a gold to achieve a national award. Okay, so let's go into a skill. Let's choose a topic. Let's go with rhyming. So you can see if I hover, the skill preview pops up. I can see the examples of questions and I click into it. You'll see the blue speakers on the left, which are very helpful for younger children who may not be able to read.
Which word rhymes with fox?
And on the right, you can see that I have already answered 17 questions in this skill under the topic of rhyming. And you will see here that I have already spent 9 minutes, and of course the time is ticking. So maybe yesterday or maybe last week or maybe the week before, I have come into this skills section and I have worked on this topic. And you can see that I have achieved a SMART score of 72 and I have 1 medal already. The SMART score is IXL's own way of measuring whether the child has mastered the skill. If we go down, you can see that if students are finding the questions difficult, they have options, easier questions down below. Okay, so do remember that the time is calculated on the time that you have spent on this particular topic, on this particular skill at any time, and the questions answered at any time. So let's answer some questions here and see what happens. So if I answer correctly, go and hug a fluffy goat if you're cold and have no coat. Keep it up. So you'll see the questions have gone up and my smart score has also gone up. I think my ball went in your yarn because I threw it really hard. Okay, again, it has gone up. And let's see what happens. Right, you see we've gone into the challenge zone and then the questions get a little bit harder. As the smart score increases. Now, what happens if I answer a question wrong? Sorry, incorrect. It gives you the correct answer and it gives you an explanation. And if you see here, my smart score has gone down. Okay. And if I don't click any answer and I just press submit, it will ask me to go back. And if you wait a few minutes, you will notice here that it will say time paused. So if you haven't answered a question for a few minutes, it will pause the time. So this is very important to note for contests. It doesn't just run, the time will pause. All right, so my smart score is 99. I'm just about to finish my challenge zone. So let's see what happens once I go into 100. So I have mastered the skill. Bravo! You have mastered the skill and earned a gold medal. You met a challenge. Reveal your prize. It also gives you here the time spent, your smart score, and your questions answered. And I made one mistake, so I got 31 out of 32. Let's reveal the prize. Okay, so for each grade, this is different. This one gives me a star to click on. It says you have won a balloon. And it's for time spent. And I have got a little animal here, a skunk. And if you have a look, you will see that you get a prize for questions answered, time spent, days practiced, skills mastered, questions correct in a row. Okay, so there are many sections where you can receive your prize. I mean, I think I have many to click on here because I've not been clicking on my prizes. So this is quite exciting and fun for the kids. And again, here it gives you a little summary. Okay. So just to quickly show you what happens in science. So science is another subject that is part of the competition this time. So we are in second grade. It's taken us, it starts at second grade, in fact. And you can see that I have answered many questions for science. I've got lots and lots and lots of medals here. So there is one difference that I want to highlight. You can see I've answered 19 questions. I've spent 11 minutes in this skill. Now, instead of a smart score, you have here a challenge and stages. So I've completed stage 1, stage 2, and now I am stage 3 of 3, and I need to get 5 correct in a row. So we can see what happens. And this is the first time that I am on science doing this submit. Okay, great. So I have mastered the skill and earned a gold medal. So I believe with science, there are no prizes to be won, but you do get your certificates. Okay. And if we get a question wrong, it will show across here and you will have to start again. So you need to get 4 correct in a row. So that's the difference in science. Okay, let's move on to analytics now. This is probably one of the most interesting pages for parents and children because it gives you number of hours your child has spent on IXL. And as we know, that's one of the criterias for our competitions. So you will see here, you get a summary. Right now it says in the last 30 days, Faison has answered 70 questions, spent 21 minutes practicing, and I have made progress in 5 skills. If I scroll down, you can see that it also gives me a summary of practice by day, questions answered, and when. So you can see here is where and it highlights between weekdays, weeknights, and weekends. So you get a good summary here. If you scroll down further, you can see some of the sessions and skills that your child has spent time on, the questions that they have answered. If you remember, we just did this together. Okay. So it provides you with a quick summary. Now, for the purpose of the competition, I want to check language arts. So I can change the subject to language arts. And an important note to mention here is that I am in grade 2. So for the competition, AKEB encourages students to practice questions or answer questions in their own grade and in the grades above. However, you are allowed to answer a grade below. So for in this case, grade 1, but we strongly recommend and encourage students to practice questions in their own grades and a grade above. So for me, I will select grade 1, that's a grade below grade 2, and I will go up to grade 3. And we can have a look here. You can customize the date range. So let's say I want to check how many questions or how much time my child has spent on IXL since the competition until the 25th, for example. And you can see here that I have answered 29 questions spent 8 minutes practicing, and made progress in 2 skills for language art. You can select today or any date. You can select the last 30 days. So this is a good indication of how much time your child is spending on IXL, and especially for the competition if you want to check on a daily basis. I can switch this to science and I can play around with the days, the last 30 days, and you can see this changes. Just to mention, lastly, that you can see there are other headings here: trouble spots, scores, questions, progress. We encourage you to experiment, explore some of these other headings, and spend a bit of time on IXL. You won't break anything, nothing will go wrong, so it's okay to explore some of these other headings. If you want to explore diagnostic as well, you can. And if I take you back to the first page we landed on when we signed in, the recommendations page, I want to clearly point out that if your child starts to answer questions from the recommendations page during the competition, the questions will not be counted towards the competition. So you do have to go into your language arts and your science for it to count towards the competition. I just want to make that clear. And for the current competition, if I can clarify, science is from grade 2, you can see here, until grade 8. So students who are in grade 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 will be participating in science for this competition. And students of pre-KG, KG and grade 1, grade 9, 10, 11, 12 will participate in language arts, which is English, for this competition. So for example, if your child is in grade 9, he or she cannot answer questions on science at grade 8 level. That will not count. So science is from grade 2 to grade 8, science only. And for language arts, it's pre-KG, KG1, KG grade 1, grades 9, 10, 11, 12 will be language arts for the purpose of this competition. Thank you.